Hey guys, welcome back to DJ's Workshop. So today we're going to be building a new shed for my generator. When I moved into this home, the gentleman that had the house before built this to house the generator for the house. And you can see, I mean, it served its purpose, but it's kind of flimsy. It's got a lot of holes and stuff where the mice are getting in, so I don't like that. So I'm going to build a new metal shed that I'm going to put up here, and that way we can keep it nice and secure. We're going to add some ventilation and a fan. So first thing I got to do is I got to level the ground out right here where I'm going to put it, and then we're going to build a base out of some pressure treated wood, and then we'll build a shed and get the generator all installed. So stay tuned, I'll show you how we're going to do it. Alright, so here's the materials I got. I got a sheet of 4x8 pressure treated. I got some 2x4 pressure treated, and I got 8 bags of crushed rock. So we're going to lay the rock down, we're going to build a frame, put the board on top, and then we'll build a shed on top of that. Okay, so the first step was I had to level out the ground. There was a slight slope going this way, so I had to cut a little bit, kind of level it that way. So that's all set. Next thing is I got to build the bottom framework to see what size base it is for the wood structure that I need to build. Okay, so here's the bottom frame. I just got to measure out the length and the width so I can measure out the boards. All right, so here's the framework for the bottom. The instructions show to do 3 in the middle, but I have an extra piece. I'm just going to do 4, just give it a little more support. So I'm going to screw down the end ones first, and then I'll measure out the distance in between, and then we'll screw those in. Once that's all set, then I'm going to center it on this piece of plywood here, and then I'll mark out the exact size that I need, and I can cut that. Okay, at this point I got the framework all done. Now I'm just going to lay it on this sheet of plywood, and I'll cut out the outline so we can screw the plywood on top. Okay, so we have the ground leveled. We have a base of some crushed rocks. I got the framework on there. It is level at this point. So now we can put the plywood on top. Okay, so at this point we have the framework down, that's screwed down, and now we're putting the corner pieces on. They just fit on the frame rail. Right now there's this one screw holding it in, and then we're going to put the panels along the sides and the back, the door, and then the roof will go on. So let me work on the panels. Alright, so once you have all this framework done, then you have to go around and add the panels, and it's basically all pre-drilled. You just take these little screws and you just put them in every spot. These panels do overlap, okay, and then you can see the bottom isn't screwed in yet, so I'm going to screw that in. Alright, and I did put the generator in here just to make sure it fits good, which it does. So we're going to finish up putting on that back wall. There is nuts and bolts in the middle that you have to install. There's another one somewhere, where is it? There it is. Okay. So we'll get those done, and then we'll work on getting the top and the front doors on. Okay, next thing is they give you these end caps that you got to put on. I don't think there's one for the back because that's where it's going to hinge, but there is a piece here for the front that we got to put on. So you can see we're getting there. We got the side walls on. Okay. Once this is done, I am going to be cutting holes for a fan and for some ventilation and stuff, but we'll do that another day. We just want to pretty much get this thing, you know, set up the way it's supposed to be, and then we'll modify it after. Alright, so this is the roof panel. You have to put the pieces together, screw them together on this bar. It comes with these brackets to frame it, and then you put these hinges on, and then it comes with the struts. Alright, so now we got to bring it down to the actual piece and then put this on, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, once you put this on top here, you're going to put these pieces for the struts, and then the hinges just bolt along the back there. Okay, now that keeps that up for you. There's actually 2 different positions. You get a forward position and a rearward position. So the rear one is going to let it lift more. I don't need it to lift like straight up, so this is fine. Alright, let's find out about getting these doors on now. Okay, so at this point we have it pretty much assembled. We got the doors on. what we're going to do now is we got to run the wiring into the inside here. So this is going to be the main plug, which is going to power the house up, and then I have an extension cord which I'm going to run off of this receptacle here so that I can power up the charger, the battery tender for the generator. So we're going to cut a hole in the back here and run a piece of pipe. I have this here. It's actually just an extra piece from a vacuum shop vac I had, which is going to work perfect. We'll just put that like that, and we'll run the pipe inside. So let's do that next. Alright guys, so this is going to about wrap this one up. So you can see I have the shed all together now, and let me just do a little walk around here. Okay, now on the back side you can see the exhaust pipe I put in. I just got a piece of pipe that fit over the exhaust and snuck it out the back side here. This here is actually an old piece of shop vac tube. I had a couple extra ones hanging around and I needed a piece of tubing to run the wires in, so that worked out perfectly. You guys know how I like to repurpose my stuff, so use whatever I can. Now I did put a fan on this side, okay, so when it's running this will open up, let the exhaust out. So let's take a peek inside here. Alright, you can see I added a couple of vents onto this side. Alright, and I did put some, because this is corrugated, I did put some silicone in the holes there just to keep the rainwater out. You can see we got ventilation coming in, and then we have ventilation going out. Now this fan I have on this here, I can actually set it to whatever temperature I want it to come on, and the fan speed. I'm going to basically just have it on all the time when the generator is running, and I have the fan speed on full because I just want it to blast out as much as it can. You can see where the wires came in through that tube. So this is going to power the house up. This one here is powering my fan, and then I have the battery tender, which is what the orange cable is. So let's start it up and see what we got. Battery on. It on power saver, so that's why this just closed up, but if I open it up to full power, so I think that's going to work out good. We have the exhaust going out. We have the wires coming in through a tube, so it's not just a big hole in the back. I have the fan wired up so that whenever the generator is running, it's just going to kick right on. It'll suck air in from over there. It'll blow air out over there. The roof does have some ventilation also. There's a little gap under there. Give it some fresh air. So I think it's going to work out good. I had that old wooden box out there. I didn't like it. It wasn't waterproof. I was getting rodents in there that were making nests on top of my generator here, so that's not good. So now it's all enclosed. Shouldn't be getting any pests in here. I do have my propane tank there because this will run on propane. This is a dual power generator. All right. So mission accomplished. All right, guys. So now one thing about this shed, I did buy it online, and the instructions were horrible. It basically was pictures, and the pictures were different than what the actual parts were. So some would show holes in different places where you would mount stuff, some didn't. We had to take these doors apart like 4 different times just because they were on wrong. It was very shitty instructions. I didn't like it at all. So whatever you buy, just make sure you buy something that maybe made in the USA, because when you get these Chinese things, they don't know how to translate to English. It's just pictures with no real good instructions on there. But we got it together. It is working. We have a nice place to store the generator now. We have the fan, we have ventilation, the exhaust going out the backside. We have the trickle charger for the battery plugged in, so it keeps that charged up. And I think we're going to be good now. I made a nice solid base for it out of pressure treated wood, so I don't have to worry about the rain getting to it and rotting it out. We did put the crushed stone underneath just for drainage. So yeah, I think that's about it. Glad to see that old box gone and this nice new one in this place. Alright guys, if you are thinking about building a shed for your generator, I hope this gives you some ideas. Maybe, you know, build something that's a little more sturdy than a wooden thing that's going to rot out and fall apart on you. Alright guys, that's about it. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. If you like the video, give a thumbs up, a share, a like. Be sure to come back for some other cool projects. Okay, take care.